Okay, I'm gonna start off with the S&P 500. This is still a corrective phase to me, this phase 2 on the daily, but it is stronger and dragging longer than I expected. Obviously, this level here around 4,400 area needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, ultimately I see it dropping lower, around 4,200 area, so around this area, find a base. But if it drop lower, my plan to go long would be more back to 4,400, and I see it going like that. So let's drop down to an hourly so you can see a little bit clearer. Clear this. We saw today US is open, but European obviously is the bank holiday. You can see I have marked a level. Let's go pen. Marked a level around 4,380 this area. Prices break through and now it's rejecting, so which is not very nice price action. Last week I said price needs to go above here, 4,400 area for me to decide to go long. Immediately rejected, so that's fine. You know, I'm on holiday anyway, so in trigger, so I let it be anyway. So let's settle down. You can even drop down. I like to, when it's, especially when it's open, I like to see what happened. You can see the first 15 minutes bar is kind of fake. Look, that one big push, no follow through. That certainly is not the price action I like to see. So no action will be taken today. If price continue to obviously break higher, then may consider a retest around this area. However, price currently is not doing what I like. So I think the likelihood is either if I find a base again tomorrow around this 4,370 area, or like I said earlier, probably will have to drop lower first. So going down to a time frame like it's 4 hours still. We have a 4 hour downtrend. Obviously, 4 hour downtrend is just a daily phase 2. So it wouldn't surprise me. Price would just, if this lower low doesn't hold, so could be this. I like to see a big acceleration if it doesn't hold, and 4,200 area would be an area for me to consider go long again, but only up to around the 4,370 area. Okay, so we see how price developed. Is no need to hurry to jump into the trade, so be patient a bit more. Let's move on to Dow Jones Industrial. I mean, I remember one of the members last week asked me, did it look okay, Dow Jones? It did look okay. So obviously we are Dow Jones a little bit more, the retracement is more shallow, which is great. So still remain bullish, so remain above this area. We saw on Thursday a bullish bar and then followed by a high test, which isn't great. Okay, I'll drop down to an hourly and tell you what would be the idea that is not holding. So last week I said, you see this not nice price action. So I said this level needs to hold the 3,400 34,500 area. Sorry, my probably still on holiday mode. 34,500 area needs to hold. Obviously, if it didn't hold, then yeah, I would close up the trade if I was trading it. So, you know, I did say enter somewhere around here. It did spike up and then immediate drop off. So if I see the price action right here, you should put your stop loss here. That's how you manage to trade. You know, ultimately, we have a few outcomes in trading, right? So losing big, cut that. Losing small, if you've done that, you'll be losing small, which is fantastic. Or win small, win big. It's up to the market. All right. Current price action at the moment, again, you see a big push and then no follow through. You can drop down to a 15-minute. Like I said, during the open, I like to use 15-minute just to get a feeling of it. Look at that. Similar like S&P 500. We had a big initial push up. No follow through. All right, so it's very difficult to say. I really don't like to see down drop anything lower than the previous daily low, like, well, the potential daily higher low here, which is the 34,000 area, for me to remain bullish. But it can happen. It can, if S&P 500 doesn't hold support, then I can see this will drop lower to about 33,000 area, which is isn't great for the overall market, because we're expecting a bounce in April. But if we can't get a bounce, I think the summertime would be pretty ugly. So the sell in May and go away could already starting to happen. So if the 34,000 doesn't hold, I don't sell stock indices, especially the US one. So I will look to go long around the 33,000 area, but ultimately 34 would be my target, and then may look for weaker indices to sell, like the Hong Kong or other one that is weaker to sell, maybe an option. Okay, we're moving on to the Nasdaq. We're still kind of holding around the 13,800 area. Potentially we have a low test in here, but again, if you're dropping down to hourly, we're not really seeing a lot of momentum just yet. So, again, like I said, drop down to 15-minute. Interesting. We are seeing a reversal and then a bullish bar. So let's see how it develops. Let's quickly go back to S&P 500 and see. Very interesting. Like I said, we are recording this live, or I am planning to trade. Whoa, that's a good retest, but I'm not very convinced price action like that. So maybe later tonight, break this previous high and come back for the next low, higher low. Then yeah, I might consider to take a trade, but not yet. Really need to take off this swing high first before I consider to go long. So currently is having a battle, not clear direction just yet. All right. One of the things that I really want to see is one thing, the weakness that I saw this morning is a Nikkei. I've been talking about this 27,000 area is really significant. Okay, going back to long time ago, back to the 1990s, you can see that is a very significant level. Even in a recent time, we found multiple support around the 27,000 area. You can see all of this area was holding around 27. Even here we're battling a little bit, and then boop, we take its head through, but now is under, which is not ideal. Japan was open today. It was not their bank holiday today. Hong Kong is bank holiday because it's following the British culture. So yeah, Hong Kong do have. But now you can drop down and see the Nikkei is below the 27,000 areas. So it is not ideal. So we may see a push lower to this before we see a bounce back. But if we push lower, I can only see it go back around the 27,000 area. So certainly we're seeing some weakness across the indices, but we have to trade what we see. Okay, so react to the market. Okay, so now the indices done. Let's move on to Forex. So this dollar index, dollar index, right? So we are now remain above the 100 area. So are we due for retracement? We may see a little blow off first. So blow off to this R2. And then if it is, I think the retracement will be back to 100, and ultimately we're going to go long again on dollar. So don't fight it. Don't fight the trend. We're looking bullish, remaining bullish. So then, yeah, don't fight it. We will look to be a buyer around the 100, maybe with a retracement first, probably next week or the week after. Let's see which one is the best to buy the dollar against with. Moving on to Aussie. Yeah, technically, I think we are. Let's have a look. We are still on a, yes, we are still on a daily uptrend. But obviously, Aussie is very much correlated to the stock indices. So then we are seeing this phase two happening at the moment. Are we going to get a bounce from that? Yeah, I like to see a bounce. I like to see a bounce, but where do we see the bounce from? Maybe we need to obviously get back above the monthly pivot. So the 74 area, smaller time frame in here, may consider to take a long to here, but I'd rather trade the indice anyway. It's just a preference. So let's see. Yeah, but I like to see it climb back up to 74, and then I see it maybe make a double top around this area, then may look to sell it. Aussie may look to sell it depending on the price action, but short term I do want to see a bounce up, but longer term maybe, yeah, early May I would like to see sell potentially on Aussie. Okay, euro, this will be quite boring like the dollar index. All right, so we are at a very significant level with a 108 107 area, so I like to see a bounce, but how strong this bounce is would be maybe monthly pivot, and then could sell euro later part. But I would like to see a bounce, but I don't think I'm going to be a euro buyer because my eyes are on British pound at the moment. Let me show you. So the British pound daily, right? So I did try to go long and I had a little loss. I'm not gonna lie. I set a limit order and then I protected Lee and it kicked me out. I think last night. I'll show you the detail a bit more. So what is it doing, right? Is I'm still expecting a bounce. I do expecting a bounce, but how high can the bounce be? Let's have a look at the monthly pivot first, right? I think because I'm expecting a short-term drop like a phase two on dollar, so I do see pounds going back up potentially. I wouldn't say go up to the top channel because this price action is bearish. So something around just under the 134 area, the monthly R1, this blue box area, then may sell, but I probably will sell euro, but that's the target for me. But when I'm planning to get in, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? As you guys know me quite well, I like to use smaller time frame for my entry. Right, so you see this line area here. Last week I set a limit order. I'll show you where I set my limit order. I was away and I saw the price push up and I wanted to set a limit order just to capitalize on that. So when you see the initial push up on Wednesday, which is great, okay, then obviously this happened. I'm expecting a phase two on Thursday morning. My limit order is here, right? But when price go like that, my stop loss here. So obviously you see this morning kicked me out. My stop loss was around, well, my first stop loss was here and I moved it there. So lost half of the trade, which is not the end of the world. So it's okay. I'm not, not fussy about that. Where do we go from here? You can see this line again is rejecting this level. So I can see price potentially going back down to the bottom channel again, the 12980 area, make a base and then go long again. So that's my plan. Let me just go back up to the daily, explain to you why I will go long again, and hopefully you can see the resemblance. You can see previously, okay, too much of the pivot level. Let's just take that off first. Right. Previously, you can see in what's the day back in December, price range for multiple days or even week before it you get the real move. Price quite similar. Let me just clean this up. Here it's quite similar. Can you see? Had a few day push up and then come back down. and go again. So we had a push up, down, and then now 1 day push up and then no follow through. So wouldn't be bad to go back down to the bottom area and then take it long again. So that's my plan, because seasonally it is, data suggests, is usually bullish for British pound. Also, the commitment of traders, we're seeing more money flowing into pound from commercial sector. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it can become quite confusing, but that's something that I use quite a lot. It's more for advanced trader. So my plan is still wanting to go long on British pound. That's my main plan this week. Okay. Moving on to Kiwi. I mean, last week I did say this trend line cannot break, but it's now clearly breaking. So we do now have a, you can say, arguable confirmed downtrend already. So you know the trend could be like that. So it's very quick. Yeah, lower high, lower low already. So you know it's breaking that. So we do definitely have a change of trend on daily. You can see the trend line's broken. So probably I'd like to see a bounce. All right, so I like to see a bounce soon. So maybe we'll see price find support very soon around here, and then bounce back up to the 69 monthly pivot. May sell it. Kiwi's on the list to sell, but longer term, so maybe more next week rather than this week. Okay. Gonna move on to the dollar cat. Dollar cat. Right, we had a. I remember my partner Lucas said, yeah, we see that big sell-off in this. Maybe we're having a double top formation, so great. Maybe I like to see dollar lose ground to cat, coming back down to this area first, and then maybe push up. So price action does suggest that. However, this is not how I trade. I don't like the price action like that, so I'm gonna leave it alone and just use it as a reference. If I see dollar cat drop, would be more favorable for my plan on pound dollar trade. But if this is how you trade it, don't just because it's on my opinion, and don't take it. So you know it is up to you at your own risk, at your own reward. But if you have any question, you can always ask me in the group. Okay. Dollar Swiss. I'll probably want to skip it, but yeah, we're seeing that price coming back to this resistant level, so we may see a drop, which is good. I like to see a drop. So yeah, but to where? Probably back to the monthly pivot. Okay, but not something that I like to trade. I don't trade dollar Swiss. I haven't been trading dollar Swiss for many years, so happy to do it that way. Just don't like the price action. You do get some nice trend, but usually just range. Okay, dollar yen, ha ha ha. So like I said last week, are we seeing some price exhaustion here? Yeah, maybe it's probably due for a pullback, but we're not seeing that yet. But it's not something that I like to get involved with to sell it, but it's too bullish for me to to buy dollar yen. Is too late, but it's too bullish for me to sell it. So I'm gonna leave it alone, because it's just I missed the train. I'm not gonna jump onto the rail line and kill myself. So that's what I am. I'm happy to leave it. Moving on to commodity. It's open today on this. Yeah, maybe, but very lack momentum. I like to see oil roll lower, but obviously we are having a ranging price action at the moment. So maybe it gets a bit higher, consider to sell it, but certainly in this middle of the range, I have zero interest. Gold. Tumbling higher. I missed the trade. I mean, it's, you know, from my side, like this daily looks okay, but if you drop down to hourly, the price action is yeah, yes and no. I mean, you know, it's not really gold like, you know, when you trend, it should really be trending, but you know, come back, change of trend here, and then go again. So I'm not really want to touch it, but I don't see gold go and make a new high anytime soon. I see price will eventually roll back below this 1950 and then go lower. But price action hasn't been kind, so I haven't played ball basically. So I just don't want to play it for it. Just leave it alone, really. Moving on to silvers. Even more horrendous. I just don't like the price action at all. I mean, it's kind of trying to push higher, but if I see ultimately price will come back down lower in here and then drop lower, and then maybe I'll be interestingly, I'm looking to be a gold or silver investor, so buying some of the gold mining stock. Later on in the month, I will be hosting a stock trading masterclass. Mostly, when we say trading, that is mostly investing. So buy low and sell high, which for sure I will be showing some of the idea of the gold stock, what sort of behavior, what it takes for me to invest. I'll share all of that with you guys. So check on the Google Calendar for timetable. If you are interested, just register. And I look forward to seeing you guys, obviously. Finally is cryptocurrency. Crypto, what the hell are you doing? We are seeing a low test today, okay, but ultimately I think this phase 2 is very strong. So phase 1 and this phase 2 is very strong, equally looking quite equal. So Kamimo traders still showing a lot of bearish indication in there. So maybe we'll see a bounce with indices back to this 45 area and sell off. So I'm looking to be a Bitcoin seller. This week I will host a special webinar recording of my view on cryptocurrency. So stay tuned, and we'll be broadcasting that on YouTube and so as well. So yeah, but ultimately I want to be a seller, and I see it dropping lower, and I'll share more in-depth detail in that video. Okay, moving on to Ethereum. So again, yeah, we had a phase 1 looks okay in daily, but if you drop down to hourly, it's not that strong really. Okay, and now we've got very strong phase 2. Maybe we're gonna see a bounce, but around this 3,500 area, if I see a double top formation, I probably will sell it. It was something like that. Yeah, something like here, double top here, top, like this kind of formation, I will sell it. I will look to be a seller on Ethereum. Take some profit when I sell it, but it's probably not going to be until next week. I'll update you guys post the trade, but beginner traders don't get access to trade on a regulated broker. Can you trade that on Coinbase or whatever? Maybe. I'm not very familiar with that. I think Kraken you can, Bitfinex you can, but I tend to use IG to trade that. So yeah, that's what my plan is. I ultimately see cryptocurrency heading lower towards the summertime. Okay, so quick wrap up. I still want to be a indice buyer and pound buyer, but as you saw what I predict, the level needs to hold. If not, I have to buy it lower. So again, stay patient. Always quality rather than quantity is the key of the game. Okay, as always, any question, drop me, find me, tag me in Discord. Otherwise, happy trading and see you guys around. Thank you.